Good day. This is the Committee on Transportation. For the first session of the Committee on Transportation, 3 measures passed into third reading. 2 of them were enacted into law as RA 10635 or the STCW law and the RA 10638, a law extending the corporate life of the PNR. The motorcycle safety for children is now awaiting presidential action. For the second session of the 16th Congress, the Committee on Transportation greatly stressed the safety and convenience of Filipino commuters. These are the updates of the following bills. Taxi passenger rights. Installation of speed limiters on PUVs. Mandatory installation of CCTVs on PUVs. Regulation of parking spaces. Regulation of motorcycles for hire. ISO compliance of PUBs. Prohibiting modified exhaust pipes of motorcycles. LTO to open branches on Saturdays. Motorcycle safety for children. The committee also tackled 2 resolutions related to land transportation. The LTFRB issued a circular prohibiting provincial buses from entering the metro in furtherance of an integrated transport system policy. Chairman Cesar Sarmiento filed a resolution seeking a win-win solution where provincial buses during off-peak hours may enter the metro. Through the cooperation of Congress and the LTFRB, this solution was implemented. There will be less road accidents, less chaos, less road rage, and less unnecessary traffic in our roads if the only people allowed to drive are those who have the proper driver education, discipline, and courtesy. We thus sought for the mandatory retesting of all professional drivers to start this road revolution. We also tackled bills of local concern, mostly those seeking to create LTO branches to serve areas where it needs such offices the most. These local measures are waiting Senate action. Aside from tackling bills and resolutions, a great portion of the committee's time and efforts were spent overseeing controversial issues. We repeatedly conducted inquiries to ensure that port congestion is resolved. We also delved into the status of unfilled positions in the LTO, which requires institutional reforms. We monitored updates on the no registration, no travel policy. The extension of the period of the phasing out of school service more than 15 years of age resulted in delay, but we continue to urge that by 2016, new school buses will be rolled out. We continuously sought for a status report on moratorium on issuance of CPCs by LTFRB and ensure any new franchises will be assigned to routes that need it. We inquired on the issuance of LTO plates and licenses. We inquired as to the implementation of the anti-drunk driving law. We inquired on the issue of third-party liability insurance in land transportation. We inquired on the operation of unfranchised vehicles following the platform of transportation network companies such as Uber, GrabCar, and recommended that their operations be studied upon and ultimately legalized by way of legislative act to ensure the safety and convenience of our commuters and ensure that it does not in any way conflict with any law. We have likewise asked for an objective, scientific study on the transportation patterns, behaviors, and demand of the Filipino commuter, which will help out in determining which areas would be needing more PUVs. For the first session of the 16th Congress, this committee had made a great achievement in a record time by pushing for the STCW Marina Single Authority Law, which was principally authored by Representative Manalo. We tackled several key bills which we think would further the interests of the marine transport sector. Marina as the single administrative body for STCW compliance. Harbor pilotage. Philippine Coast Guard modernization. Cabotage liberalization. The committee conducted inquiries on topics that are relevant to marine transport. Due to the committee's insistence, 60% of the lighthouse lantern projects are rolled out through the country. By the guiding light of these lighthouses, passenger in boats, ships, and bankas have a safe journey home. We must continue this project. We continued to inquire on the situation of our ports and the issue of port congestion. The committee conducted an inspection of the Batangas port to better understand the issues surrounding port operations. We have monitored the implementation of our commitments to standards of training, certification, and watchkeeping, which fall squarely within the jurisdiction of Marina. We have requested PPA to submit properties that Marina may use for regional offices to further that goal. Our inquiries on fares for passengers in marine vessels are very successful, for they resulted to a reduction in fares for those taking the boats and ships. We continue to hound on the DOTC for a definite master plan on the Roro Nautical Highway. Recently, the committee conducted a hearing on the marine tragedy that is the sinking of MV Nirvana. The committee thus sought for, among others, an upgrading of seaworthiness of all Roro boats. The Committee on Transportation spent a considerable time thrashing out the issues and seeking quick solutions for our air transport industry, and most especially our air passengers. Here are the updates of the following bills and resolutions. Air Passenger Rights. House Resolution relating to delays and cancellation of NAIA flights. House Resolution on Dumaguete Airport location. We also passed on third reading local bills meant to improve our airport facilities. The committee conducted inspections and consultative meetings in the Clark International Airport, NAIA Terminals 1, 2, and 3 to better assess the situation of these facilities. Most importantly, the committee chairman, along with some members of the House, are members of the Congressional Oversight Committee on Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. They found that there is a great need for the CAAP to reorganize itself and to work with the GCG and the COA to find a way to make the CAAP workforce at par with the other air travel regulatory bodies. We are happy to report that a direct result of our inquiry on NAIA congestion was the opening up of runway 31 and 13 in NAIA Terminal 3, which will allow more flights to take off and reduce such congestion. We have also discussed with the CAB on the lifting of the fuel surcharge, which meant lower ticket prices and greater consumer welfare. Because we pushed for it, CAB now requires carriers to provide free water in all flights. The solution to our traffic woes, delays in delivery, and inconveniences in commutes is mass transit, particularly the railways. We extended the corporate life of the Philippine National Railway through RA 10638, and we want to move forwards towards a railway renaissance. Other bills, resolutions, and measures tackled by the Committee on Transportation which are related to railway are as follows. Accident and life coverage for railway transit passengers. Extension of the PNR Charter. We have constantly sought for updates on the implementation of current and upcoming projects of the LRT, MRT, and PNR, and have pushed for them to go all out in developing and rehabilitating our railway system. We are monitoring the North and South Commuter Railway project, which may cost as much as 271 billion pesos, but would be a big convenience for all of us. We have also hearings on the PNR modernization, where we sought for the rehabilitation and upgrading of the PNR system. We inquired on the railway breakdowns and sought a report on the MRT-3 Taft accident. We sought for updates on the automated fare collection. We sought for an update on the MRT-7 and common stations. We inquired as to the maintenance contracts of MRT and suggested one entity to be responsible for the maintenance as opposed to the segmentation of maintenance works. The chairman of the Committee on Transportation conducted an incognito inspection of MRT operations the day the fares increased. On other important matters, the Office of Transport Security is one of the agencies that has an important role in keeping our transport system safe and secure. The committee is pushing for the rationalization of the role of the OTS in the Philippine Transportation Map and is supporting for its development. We called out to the DOTC and sought for the speedy implementation of DOTC local projects, which are badly needed in the provinces. As of June 11, 2015, a total of 279 measures, 194 House bills, and 85 House resolutions have been referred to the Committee on Transportation. From July 2014 to July 2015, the committee held 47 meetings 28 in-house regular committee meetings, 2 out-of-town regular meetings, 8 technical working group meetings, 3 Congressional Oversight Committee on Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines meeting, 2 bicameral conference committee meetings, and 4 ocular inspections and consultative meetings. The Committee on Transportation conducts at least 2 meetings every week. We would like to thank everyone for actively participating. One more year is left, but now let us look past the trees and see the forest. Let's take a look at the bigger picture and aim for the development of our transport sector.